Hi, I'm Heather and I'm the Engagement Officer for SOTEAG. I'm going to talk to you a bit about SOTEAG and then focus on the engagement work that I do. SOTEAG stands for the Shetland Oil Terminal Environmental Advisory Group. SOTEAG's role is to provide environmental advice to the Sullom terminal operators and partners. SOTEAG's aim is to report on any changes to the health of Shetland's marine and coastal regions surrounding the Sullom terminal and port. SOTEAG has been monitoring for over 40 years now, and it is recognised as a pioneering, world-class model based on its independent scientific monitoring and expert advice. The Shetland Islands themselves are the most northerly part of Britain and have a coastline of around 2,702 kilometres, and the coastal waters of Shetland host a wide variety of important habitats and species. As you can see on the slide, there is a photo of Iolo Williams. You might recognise him from Springwatch. Iolo came up to Shetland with us to celebrate our 40th anniversary and endorse the work of SOTEAG. Here is a little bit of background about SOTEAG. The construction of the Sullom terminal in the 1970s was the largest project in the UK at the time, and it is now one of Europe's biggest oil and gas terminals at 400 hectares. At this site, oil and gas are stored, processed and distributed via tankers. I'll briefly go through the timeline of events. So in 1974, the baseline monitoring began, and by 1975, the Sullom Association Limited was established. It's a non-profit making, limited liability joint venture company established by oil industry and Shetland Island Council partners. In 1976, the baseline monitoring results and oil spill strategy was published by SOTEAG, now SOTEAG, as an early environmental impact assessment, or EIA. In 1978, the monitoring committee was established and the first oil flowed through the pipeline. However, SOTEAG's structure and EIA was criticised by the local government because of their lack of independence from the oil industry. The group's membership and function were reviewed by the Shetland Islands Council, and in 1977 SOTEAG was restructured and SOTEAG was formed. SOTEAG now has an independent chairman, an independent executive officer, new terms of reference, wider representation and greater local representation. The number of oil industry reps and Shetland councillors are always balanced. A diverse membership is drawn from academia, the oil industry, central and local government, government statutory agencies, indigenous industries and environmental NGOs. Sullom currently receives oil by pipeline from the oil fields in the East Shetland Basin and oil and gas from the deep waters west of Shetland. The oil is exported from Sullom by tanker and shipped worldwide. Since 2016, gas has been piped to the Shetland gas plant before being piped to the UK mainland and the national grid. This plant lies just to the east of the terminal. The naturally beautiful coasts and seas surrounding Shetland support a rich and diverse wildlife which deserve to be preserved. This was officially recognised in 2005 when Sullom's special geographical and biological features led to its designation as a Special Area of Conservation, or SAC, by the European Commission. Today it receives protection under the European Commission Habitats Directive. One of the roles of SOTEAG is to provide early warning of environmental change and, if appropriate, to advise on remedial action. This is achieved via a monitoring committee comprised of independent scientific experts who annually review and evaluate the monitoring reports. The SOTEAG monitoring is made up of 4 monitoring programs: the marine chemistry and macrobenthos, which is biennial, rocky shore monitoring, which is annual, dog whelk monitoring, which is every 3 years, and seabird monitoring, which is also annual. The monitoring is designed to detect and measure both chronic and acute change in the surrounding environment. It provides an up-to-date and accurate baseline should an oil spill occur. The monitoring committee is based on the expertise of the person and not the institution to which they are affiliated. In addition to this monitoring, SOTEAG also contributes data to other surveys and organisations, such as the National Seabird Census with RSPB, JNCC and SNH. For many years, SOTEAG's Wildlife Response Coordinating Committee, WRCC, was in place to deal with oiled wildlife response strategy. However, oiled wildlife response practices and standards have developed significantly. To support this modern change, WRCC has been rescinded. In the event of a major spill, Shetland would follow the National Contingency Plan and provisions. However, due to the unique nature in Shetland, it was decided that SOTEAG will host and develop a new network of communication, cooperation and local resources for oiled wildlife preparedness and response support in Shetland. Therefore, SOTEAG has recently set up SOAN, Shetland Oiled Wildlife Network, which will aim to share good practice and resources among stakeholders and interested parties on Shetland. To help assist with any future oil spill, Marine Atlas Limited were commissioned by SOTEAG to create oil spill response maps. These maps provide an effective visualization of a wide array of data available and are updated annually. These maps are available for inclusion in the Sullom Harbour Oil Spill Plan and the Shetland Marine Pollution Contingency Plan. I've briefly run through SOTEAG's background, and I'm now going to focus on the engagement work that I do. As I said before, SOTEAG's aim is to ensure the health of Shetland's marine and coastal regions surrounding the Sullom terminal and port. SOTEAG's engagement aim is to ensure that the public is part of a two-way conversation involving the exchange and application of knowledge with the goal of generating mutual benefit. I'm just going to run through some of the different types of engagement that I do. To start with, I will talk to you about the social media we use. SOTEAG uses a range of social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We use social media as a platform to reach an audience that we do not reach through any other engagement practices. Social media allows us to engage with a large audience, be this local, national, or international. On the slide, you can see a couple of examples that highlight the number of people we can reach. We then invite these people to follow our pages, take part in online activities, and visit the SOTEAG website. It is very important when doing public engagement that you do not just engage with one type of audience, and you can achieve this by using a mix of platforms. For example, if I want to reach a large young audience, I'll use Instagram. Facebook is great for reaching those between 25 to 55, and we have also used the local radio to reach people specifically in Shetland. By boosting posts on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, we also receive more data about the people who are interacting with our posts. We're able to look at the age, gender, and geographical location of people. This allows us to monitor who we are interacting with, but it also helps us understand how different audiences want to interact with us. If we find there is a gap, we can think about adopting a new method. SOTEAG decided to sponsor a webcam at Sunborough Head about a year ago. The Shetland webcam at Sunborough Head has been a great resource for myself, but also SOTEAG Seabird Monitor this year because of the restrictions put in place due to COVID. Over the past few months, it has recorded the guillemots, their eggs, and their chicks. This is a great way to engage audiences with the natural environment in Shetland without actually being there. I've used social media platforms to promote the webcam and ask people to look for eggs and chicks. The Webcam website has further links to the SOTEAG website, linking people to the home page, monitoring information, and further downloadable engagement activities. So this is a great way to boost traffic onto the SOTEAG website. As you can see on the slide, the webcam let us see the eggs and the chicks, but also lovely sunrises. Last year I ran a photography competition for children in Shetland. This is a great way to engage with a young audience and get them to connect with their local environment. The theme I gave them was Your Coast, and the variety of photographs was great to see. Here are the winners, judged by Hillswick Wildlife Sanctuary in Shetland. Stools are a great way to engage with an audience, but your stall must be geared towards your audience. As you can see on the slide, there are two very different stalls. One stall is set up for conferences where my audience will have some knowledge of environmental monitoring, and the other stall is set up to engage the general public at an agricultural show. Both stalls provide information about SOTEAG, both stalls have activities to do at the stall, and both stalls have information and activities to do at home. The pictures highlight how important it is to vary how information is presented. SOTEAG is based in St Andrews, and therefore to engage with audiences in Shetland on a regular basis, we use loan boxes full of activities and information. These boxes are designed so that teachers have all the information they need to carry out the activities. These loan boxes have also been a great resource when getting involved in masterclasses, with school groups, and joint events where several schools come together to take part in events such as the Natural Selection exhibition that travelled all over the UK. These loan boxes have also been offered to groups such as Brownies and Scouts. In addition, SOTEAG also provides regular resources for Shetland Library. This includes information booklets about SOTEAG and activities for the children. SOTEAG also has a permanent exhibition up at Shetland Museum to inform people about SOTEAG's monitoring history. All this goes to show that you can engage with an audience face-to-face, but also effectively from afar. One of the things that SOTEAG looks at is the success of cliff nesting birds. This information is updated annually and presented in a seabird report. In 2019, breeding success was average or high for all of the monitored species. The number of chicks per breeding pair is monitored, and for example in 2019, 0.64 razorbill chicks fledged per incubating pair. This is the joint highest on record. Common guillemot breeding success at Sunborough Head was 0.76 chicks fledged per incubating pair, and this was the fourth highest on record. This is useful information, and having comparable data is an excellent resource. However, presenting this information in reports is not an accessible format for most people. One way which I have overcome this issue is to create a board game based on up-to-date seabird data. Each player is a seabird, and the aim is to collect 4 fact cards about your bird based on environmental monitoring in Shetland. Once you've collected 4 fact cards and 4 fish tokens, you race to the centre of the board to give your fish to your chick. If you land on the oil spill picture, you miss a turn. The idea of this game is to learn through play and reach an audience you would not reach through reports alone. You can see a few of the fact cards on the slide. They tell you when the first eggs were seen, when chicks fledged, the number of chicks per breeding pair, and some information about how this data compares to other years. Dog whelk monitoring is one of the programs that is carried out every few years. The reason we monitor dog whelks is because they are very sensitive to TBT. TBT was used in anti-fouling paint on the hull of ships. This then leached into the marine environment, and as a result, intersex, the masculinization of females, occurs. This occurs during early development and is irreversible. A survey in 1991 showed that dog whelks were completely absent from the terminal area. The use of TBT on large vessels was banned in 2008, and the greatest level of recovery of intersex in dog whelks is shown post-TBT ban. There has, however, been a continued development of intersex in juveniles, and this is likely due to reservoirs of residual concentrations in subtidal sediments that are known to be present in the area of the terminal. Again, reading reports full of data is not the best way to inform people about these dog whelks. One way in which we engage people is to show them how our environmental monitors monitor and record dog whelk data. Here is a short video. This will go on the website with a voiceover talking about dog whelk population history. It will be clipped together with other videos. Another way in which I have engaged people is to turn information about dog whelks into short cartoons, as you can see on the slide. Using pictures and short videos is a great way to simplify reports and make them accessible to your audience. SOTEAG aims to work with a variety of audiences and also a variety of partners. Here are some of the partners we have worked with to ensure we are sharing good practice. Thank you for listening. If you have any specific questions, please drop me an email. Here is the SOTEAG website where you can access the reports and a variety of downloadable SOTEAG engagement activities. Thanks everyone.